e-commerce is growing like crazy, and 50% of all purchases made online happen on Amazon. And just think about that. 1 out of every 2 purchases that happen on the internet are made on Amazon in the United States. And Amazon is a $1.6 trillion company. That's trillion with a T. Amazon also has 126 million Prime subscribers in the United States alone, which is a lot of people that are potentially interested in buying your product. So if you list a product on Amazon, there's 126 million people that may end up being interested in buying your product. And just to put some numbers on it, last year there was $800 million in online transactions. So of that, about $400 million were sold on Amazon. So this is a really big opportunity. That's what I'm trying to get clear here. But something that's really interesting is 2/3 of every single sale that happened on Amazon was from third-party sellers. And third-party sellers are people like you, people like me, just random people listing things on Amazon. A lot of people think that all the products sold on Amazon's website are sold by Amazon, the company. It's not true. Most of the sales that are happening on the Amazon website are from people listing their product, people using Amazon as a marketplace. So there's a lot of opportunity here. And there's over 200,000 sellers that did over $100,000 last year alone. So I really believe that e-commerce is the future. And you're seeing right now, a lot of stores have been closed down for the last few months. A lot of people are getting used to buying things online. A couple of years ago, about 12% of all sales that happened were made online. Then when the pandemic hit, it was about 16 to 20% of all sales. And that number is increasing over time. It's going to keep on increasing. I think we all know that e-commerce is the future. And if you believe that e-commerce is the future, you have to believe that Amazon is the future. And I personally have one product, just one product that did over $1 million in sales. I'm going to tell you about how I did it in just a minute. But more importantly, I'm going to tell you about how you can do it too, because I have a step-by-step formula that if you follow my formula, I firmly believe that you can have just as much success, if not way more than me, on Amazon. And the benefit of Amazon is that it's passive income. Once you start your business, once you set it up, it just keeps making money, even if you're traveling, even if you're doing a bunch of stuff. Now, it is hard work to get it up and running and set up, but once you have your Amazon listing up, once you have a product that you're selling on Amazon, as long as you keep it in stock in the Amazon warehouse, which is very easy to do, Amazon will ship it out for you. You'll keep getting sales on Amazon. This is the best way to make passive income that I have personally found. Another benefit of an Amazon business is you can always sell it. Now, if you have a corporate job and you decide to quit one day, you get nothing. Like they don't say, oh, hey, let me give you a bunch of money for all the hard work you've done. I actually recently sold my business, my Amazon business. I did a video where I talked about it, and it was $1 million deal in my opinion. Now, I didn't get $1 million cash from my Amazon business, but the deal itself, if you look at all the different bonuses and benefits I got from it, I think is well over $1 million in value. So keep that in mind. Once you have a business up and running and it's established, if you end up getting sick of it, if you end up wanting to walk away, you can always sell your business. And if you keep watching this video, I have a bunch of free gifts. This is a long video. It's super detailed. This is probably the best Amazon tutorial out there. And as a thank you for continuing to watch, in just a few minutes, I'm going to be giving away a bunch of free gifts, like a checklist, a complete free Amazon course, and a bunch of other things. So stay tuned for that. And this is a proven system. What I'm about to share with you is a proven system for selling on Amazon. I've helped a lot of people. This is my girlfriend here. I'll talk about her story later. She's selling a product on Amazon and she's doing extremely well. She was able to quit her corporate job. This is one of the students in my course. He recently launched a really cool gym bag. It's the ultimate gym bag. It's got like a meal compartment, a compartment for your shoes, a compartment for your suit, all kinds of stuff. He did over $6,000 on Kickstarter in his first month. This is another student who's does over $100,000 a month. He's probably the most successful student that I had. He's absolutely super nice guy, a friend of mine, but also extremely successful. Carla was one of my first students. She's doing thousands and thousands of dollars a month. She's about to sell her business as well. We got Troy as well, who sells tennis grips, and he's super passionate about tennis. He decided to sell a product that he's really passionate about. He is able to pay his rent in his dream location, Santa Monica, which is absolutely amazing. And Michael, who's been on the channel as well before, who's doing thousands of dollars, extremely successful student from the course. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is there's a lot of people that have done this exact system I'm about to teach you. And if I can do it, if they can do it, you can do it as well. And that's my job in this video, is to break it down and make it as easy as possible for you to learn and implement this system. So what is Amazon FBA and how does it work? Well, let me explain it to you. Basically, you send products into the Amazon fulfillment center. Whatever you're trying to sell, you send them into the fulfillment center. And FBA just means fulfilled by Amazon. And then Amazon stores your product. And when you get a sale, when a customer goes to the Amazon.com and purchases your product, Amazon picks it, packs it, and ships your product to the customer. Why I'm bringing this up is because you don't have to do all the work. In the past with e-commerce, you had to actually ship out your own products, which meant that you couldn't travel. That meant you couldn't be living the life of your dreams because, you had to do all this grunt work. Amazon takes care of the grunt work, which is an amazing opportunity. And let me go over what I'm going to share in this video. As I mentioned, this is a long, in-depth tutorial video. And some of the things I'm going to share is all the different Amazon business models. There's lots of different ways to make money on Amazon. I'm also going to show a new Amazon opportunity. There's a lot of different ways, as I mentioned, to sell on Amazon, but this new opportunity, what I'm going to be teaching you in this video is something that I haven't heard anybody else talk about. It's a brand new technique that still works right now. A lot of the things that people are teaching online used to work and they just don't work as well anymore. So I'm going to share that. I call it private label 2.0. It's better than just typical private label because that's what people used to do. And I'll explain what private label is later in this video. I'm also going to share a new way to find products. If you've ever tried to do product research on Amazon, you know that it's not as easy as it used to be. It's kind of hard to find a product, but I'm going to share a really solid way that you can find a product for Amazon. I'm also going to share with you my launch strategy, which is a way for you to launch your product and get a bunch of sales, a lot of sales from day one, and a lot of reviews within your first week or two. I don't pay for reviews. I get organic reviews, and I have a really good launch strategy I'm going to share with you in this. I'm also going to share with you an income report, show you exactly how much I make, exactly how much a student of mine makes, show you exactly what you can expect to make from Amazon. And probably the coolest big reason why I'm doing this is I'm going to give you a complete free course. I mean, this video alone is basically a complete course on Amazon, but what I have is 20 videos for you, plus a bunch of bonuses. I'm going to give you a private Facebook group, a bunch of other bonuses. And so keep watching because I'm going to be giving you that complete free course as well as a lot of other gifts. So questions I'm going to be answering in this video. How much time do you need? And it's less than you would think. How much money do you need? And I'm going to show you a way how even if you have $0, you can start an Amazon FBA business. How long will it take? And this is going to depend. I'll go into more depth about this later. Generally, 3 to 6 months is what I tell people. Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit less, but that's more or less what it's going to be. How much can you make? And obviously the sky's the limit to that, but I'll give you some reasonable answers. How do you know if your product's going to sell? Which is a really good question, because the thing with Amazon is if you're starting a business, you want to know before you put any money into it that it's going to be successful. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm also going to answer all the different what ifs. What if this happens? What if I run out of inventory? What if all these different things? What do you do after the launch? Because that's another thing. A lot of people, they launch their product on Amazon and they're not sure what to do afterwards. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be giving a bunch of free gifts here. So right now, actually, I'll release some of the free gifts. There's a link down below. If you put your email in there, you're going to get a checklist, a complete step-by-step checklist for launching on Amazon. And you're going to get a lot more that I'll talk about later. And this video is a complete A to Z guide on how to sell on Amazon. It's step-by-step, everything that you need to know. And comment down below with any questions that you have throughout this video. I'm going to go through, I'm going to answer all the questions. So at any point in this video, if something's not 100% clear, that's my fault. Leave a comment down below and I will answer it for you. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to sit back and relax. You can take notes the second time through. Don't worry. If something's not clear, it's okay. Come back later. The first time you watch this, just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. And at any point, if something's slow, put it at 2x speed in YouTube. Or if something you need me to slow down a little bit, put it at 0.5 speed. You can choose the speed on this. And there's also timestamps in the description down below. So if you want to jump to a certain section, feel free to do that. And the benefit of this video right here is it's everything in one place. There is so many videos on Amazon all over YouTube. This video is going to be a complete step-by-step A to Z guide in one place. And I've spent hundreds of hours trying to sequence this video to make it the most valuable Amazon FBA video out there. And it's up to date. And most people on Amazon try to do it the hard way. They try to do it by themselves. They spend hours and hours researching. They make mistakes that cost thousands of dollars. This is a key thing right here. Most people on Amazon, they don't learn from other people, so they make mistakes that cost thousands of dollars. They end up struggling and they end up giving up. That's most people. That's how most people do a lot of things. Now, you're smarter, obviously, because you're watching this video right now. You're learning from someone that has done it, and I've done it relatively successfully. So obviously, you're not most people, but this is how most people do it. And the better way to do it is kind of what you're doing right now. Find a mentor, and you can pay to find a mentor. You can use my YouTube channel and use me as a mentor. There's a lot of things you can do. You get knowledge all in one place. This is people that have success in life tend to find someone that's already been successful. They tend to find all the knowledge in one place with a course. And you don't have to necessarily pay for a course. As I mentioned, I'm going to be giving you a free complete course. This video alone is a pretty awesome thing. A support network. This is another thing. If you look at what makes people successful, most people aren't doing it by themselves. They have not only a mentor, but they have some kind of a support network. Now, if you do sign up with the link down below and you get the checklist, I'm also going to assign you an accountability buddy. And I'm also going to assign you to be part of a mastermind. This way you can be introduced to other people in the community that are going to help support you. So here's the most important thing. If you take away one thing from this video, it's to take action. The people that get the results are the ones that take action. Now, your first time watching this video, go ahead, as I mentioned, sit back, relax, just soak in the information. But the second time, the third time you watch it, make sure that you actually do the things that I'm telling you to do. So start now. And this right here, everything I'm going to be giving to you, this is worth, I've taken courses, I've watched courses that cost $1,000. And what I'm about to give you here, I think is worth more than a lot of the $1,000 courses. And I'll be honest with you, at times there's gonna be some hard work, but it's gonna be worth it. Starting my Amazon business is one of the best things I've ever done. I'll talk about my story later, but I woke up the other morning and I went surfing in the middle of a weekday. I can spend my life, I wake up without an alarm. I do what I wanna do throughout the day. Even right now, filming this video, I decided, you know what, this is something fun that I'm excited about. And it's hard work, yes, to start an Amazon business, but it's 100% worth it. So here we go. Here's some of the stuff I'm going to give you for free. A complete checklist, an accountability buddy, a Facebook group. So if you put your email in the link down below for free, I'm going to give you access to a Facebook group, and I'm going to give you a complete free course. And so here's an overview of what the free course is going to look like. And it's going to be 20 plus videos, all 100% for free. Now, I haven't released all these videos yet. You can see the ones that are in green still have not been released yet. And as a side note, I do have a paid course. I'm doing this free course right here for everybody because I really want to watch people succeed. I really want to see you succeed. But I do have a paid course. I'll talk about that later in this video. That's not the point. I'm just going to give you a ton of value in this video right now. So here's one thing. Once this video gets 1,000 likes, I'm going to release the next video in this series, which would be the free complete product research guide. I'm also going to include a link down below to a playlist with frequently asked questions, things like how much Amazon FBA costs, how to start Amazon FBA with $0, all the different Amazon FBA fees explained. This, guys, is your one-stop resource for so much information on Amazon. So as I mentioned, sign up down below for the link with the free complete checklist, accountability buddy, mastermind, Facebook group, free course, all that kind of stuff. Link in the description. But let's get into the tutorial. And I'm going to start with how I did it. And for anyone that's new to this channel, my name is Travis. And about 8 years ago, I had a corporate job that the first year I really enjoyed it. But by the second year, I absolutely hated it. I was hitting rock bottom. And for me, rock bottom was depression. I got really depressed and I absolutely hated my life. It was a grind. And the reason I hated my life so much was I realized if I worked my butt off at the end of the year, they'd give me a 3, 4, 5% raise. I read this book called The 4-Hour Workweek. If you've read this book, let me know down below. But this book completely changed my life. It made me realize that honestly, you could start a passive income business, only work 4 hours a week and live the life of your dreams. And what I realized is if I could create a business, a machine that could make me $300 a day, And I was able to free up my time. So I only had to put 4 hours or so into that business that I could live the life of my dreams. And here's the thing, I did that. And I'm going to share with you exactly right now how I did that. So I ended up quitting my job cold turkey. And I'm not going to lie to you. This was one of the hardest times in my life because I was really, really depressed. I was completely, all the dopamine, all the serotonin in my brain was completely sucked away. And as I said, I was living in Chicago at the time and I hated life. I ended up moving down to Miami and I had anxiety. I had panic attacks. I completely didn't know what I was doing. And part of the reason I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know how to get there is I didn't have a mentor and I didn't have some kind of a support network. So I'm going to reiterate that again. It's so important to do that. So I quit. I started a dance clothing company with my mom. It was an online dance clothing company. My mom would manufacture the dance clothing. I created the website. I did all the marketing. And that business struggled. I struggled on that business for years. I probably spent the first 5 or so years full time on that business after I quit my corporate job. And man, it was a lot of work. And one day I heard about Amazon and I heard how amazing of an opportunity this was. And what happened was I knew a lot of people in the e-commerce internet marketing space, and I knew a lot of people that were having tons of success on Amazon, including some people that I thought I was harder working than, I thought I was smarter than. But here's the thing. Anytime you see people that you think you're harder working than or smarter than, and they're having more success than you, that's when you got to start asking yourself, what are they doing differently? And I realized what they were doing differently was they were leveraging this huge platform that is Amazon. Like I said, Amazon's a $1.6 trillion company. They have 126 million customers. A lot of products and a lot of money is being changed hands on the Amazon platform. And so I realized this was a good opportunity and I launched my passion product, Performance Nut Butter. I'll talk about what a passion product is later in this video. And this is the wake up call. This is the big opportunity. I'll talk about Performance Nut Butter. So let me show you how I did it. I started an Instagram. I started a Facebook group and I ended up doing a Kickstarter where I raised over $15,000. Now a Kickstarter is crowdfunding. Basically, it's a way for you to pre-sell your product. So before you ever release your product, you can test out, is this something that people want? So I didn't spend that much money and I was able to test it and I was able to raise $15,000. I'll talk about this later in this video as well. So I ended up cashing out my 401k and I ended up putting all my money into this business. I launched my product on Amazon. And here's the crazy thing. And now I kind of mentioned this earlier. I struggled for years and years with the dance clothing company and I was making enough money to pay the bills, but I wasn't really, I wasn't hitting that goal of making $300 a day passive income. But 2 months after I launched my passion product on Amazon, I was making $300 a day, which I'm extremely grateful for. And over the course of the last 3 years, I've done over, as I mentioned, $1 million in sales. Now, here's the truth. On Amazon, there's a lot of fees. So, that's not profit. A lot of people, when you're watching these videos online, they're like, I've done $1 million. Look how amazing I am. And they share their revenue numbers and they don't actually share the final profit. So let me break this down for you because if you're watching this video, you're probably smart enough to realize that revenue is not profit. First, I had to pay for the cost of all my product, which was around $286,000 for me. There's also Amazon FBA selling fees. Now, here's the thing that's very important to remember. Just to sell on the Amazon platform, they charge 15% of whatever you sell your product for. My product is around $30 and they charge 15%. So it's around $4.50 or so per unit. There's also an FBA pick and pack fee. And that's the fee for Amazon to basically store your product, to pick it from their warehouse and to ship it out. And that includes shipping. Spend around $130,000 or so on that. And there's also other Amazon fees. They charge money for storage. They charge money for delivery and a bunch of random different things. But I'm going to tell you, it's 100% worth it. Like the selling fee, the 15% they charge, trust me, I've had my own website. I've tried to convince people to get to my website and I've tried to convince people to purchase on my website. It's hard and it takes marketing money to get people to your website. So to pay the selling fee, to pay the transaction fee, completely worth it. There's also PPC, which is a form of advertising on the Amazon platform. I spent around $60,000 on that. And there's other fees associated with starting a business, LLC fees, paying my virtual assistants, bunch of random things. But in total, over the last 3 years, I've done over $300,000 in profit. And if you divide that by how many days there are in a year and times 3, I've done over $300 a year over these last 3 years passive. And during this time, I was living my dream life. I was traveling around the world. I went to Egypt. I went all over the place. Italy. We did a 3-week stay in Italy, my girlfriend and myself. And during that time, I think I checked my Amazon account once. I think I checked my email once. And my business kept printing money. And again, It's a hard work to set up, but once you get it set up, it's like building a car. It takes a lot of work to build the car, but once you got the car built, as long as you keep gas in the engine, the car keeps going. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do here. I'm going to show you a complete roadmap on how to start a successful Amazon business. Now, what happens is most people, they're down here and maybe they're starting here and they think that it's a straight line, but it's not. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to avoid the traps. I'm going to show you how to get around the exact route that you're going to need to take, because oftentimes the most direct route, the thing that you think you should be doing in business, in life, isn't actually the right way to do it. So I'm going to show you the complete roadmap in this video. So here's some of the things we're going to go over. We're going to start with all the different business models. Then I'm going to show you how to find a product, how to make a brand. Now, this is the key thing. Right now, if you're trying to sell on Amazon, you don't want to just sell a random junk product. You want to create a powerful brand. I'm going to talk about why you need to do that, but it's going to make your listing stand out on Amazon. I'm also going to show you how to create raving fans, because right now it's not just about selling a product on Amazon, just ranking a product on Amazon. It's about creating real life humans that love your product, because that's going to lead to free marketing. It's basically going to allow it so that people are going to go spread the word about your product. I'll talk about how to do that later. I'll also talk about how to test your idea, how to raise money using Kickstarter to make sure that you have a good idea before you start committing a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money into your business. Also talk about how to find a manufacturer. Now, this is one of the easiest things to do in the entire process. It's also one of the scariest. This is one of those things that a lot of my students come to me like, oh my God, how do I find a manufacturer? And I have to explain to them that it's actually really easy to do. And I'll share step-by-step how to do that later in this video. Also talk about how to create your listing, but more specifically, how to create an Amazon listing that sells, how to create the title, how to pick a main image, how to pick all the other images, bullet points, price point, like all that kind of stuff that makes it so people want to buy your product. And one thing that so many people forget to mention, I'm going to talk about how to actually launch your product so you get sales from day one, so you get reviews within your first week or two. And as I mentioned, this video is just a big overview. I'm going to go into much more detail in all the little individual videos that you can get for free by putting your email down below. But here's the problem. People don't usually value things unless they pay for it. And as I've mentioned, I've seen courses out there that give less value than I'm about to give you right here, and they charge $1,000. Obviously, I'm not going to charge you anything for this. It's going to be completely free. But what I do want from you, if you're serious and you want to show that you're serious, is leave a comment down below on why you want to start an Amazon business, what your goal is. And you can say, I want to start an Amazon FBA business because I want $300 a day passive income. Let me know what your goal is. Now, here's the reason I'm doing this. I want you to commit to a goal. And there's this thing where if you announce what your goal is and you have other people saying, hey, you said you wanted to start Amazon, what's your progress? You're more likely to actually hit your goal. You're more likely to actually be successful. So comment down below. Since I'm giving this to you for free, this could be a way for you, even though you didn't pay any money, at least you're putting some attention and some energy into this. So let's go over the different Amazon FBA business models, and let me show you what I think the best one is and why here. So retail arbitrage is actually a really cool business model. It's basically where you can buy items at a discount. Maybe you buy something that's normally $50, you buy it for $10. You then flip it on Amazon. Remember, you purchased it for $10. You put it on Amazon for the full retail price of $50, and you make all the different profit that comes from that. And this is pretty low risk because honestly, maybe you buy 10 items and then you flip it on Amazon, and then you go buy another 10 items, flip it on Amazon. Extremely low risk. You don't need a lot of cash to start this business model. That's why this business model is so popular and so many people end up doing this, is because if you don't have a lot of money, this is actually a good way to make a little bit of side income, but it's not scalable. The problem is with this kind of a business, it's not really even a business. It's more of like a hobby. It's more of like a side job where you have to go out and you have to constantly be hunting, finding deals, and then flipping it on Amazon. Another thing is it's just not that reliable because you don't know if you're going to be able to go find a discount. It's not my favorite business model. It's just a bad business model overall. And another thing I didn't even put in this PowerPoint is you can't sell that kind of a business because it's reliant on you. You constantly have to go out, you constantly have to find deals and then flip it on Amazon. Another type of business model that's a little bit better in my opinion, as far as scalability and everything, is you can buy items at wholesale. So maybe you find something like Nike shoes, normally $100, you buy them for $50, and then you sell them on Amazon, and you can get all the profit in between minus the Amazon fees and everything. It's relatively easy to do. All you have to do is find people that are willing to wholesale you product, but it's saturated and it's very competitive. If it's easy for you to do, it's easy for other people to do. It's easy for your competitors to do. So I personally would say this is not a long-term business model, because let's say you go to Nike, you buy a bunch of shoes at wholesale price, and then you flip them on Amazon. What's to stop other people from doing that? And eventually it becomes this race to the bottom, this competition where everybody's trying to lower the price a little bit lower, and everyone's just eating each other's market share. So this is something personally wholesale I would not do. Now, private label has been really popular over the last few years. Basically what you do is you find a winning product, you create your own private label. So you find a product that is selling well on Amazon, you slap your brand on it, and you start selling your own private version of it, private label. So maybe it's shampoo, and you say, you know what, I'm doing Travis's famous shampoo. And then you take that and you sell it on Amazon, because people are buying shampoo on Amazon. So why not put Travis's shampoo on Amazon? Now, the problem is it's hard to find a good product. Shampoo's a good example of a terrible product, because so many people are selling shampoo. What's going to make your product better? What's going to make your product different? Now, what I recommend doing instead, which I call almost like private label 2.0, is creating your own product. Create something unique, something that does not exist. Now, let's use the shampoo example. Now, it doesn't have to be revolutionary. Maybe you realize that there's this thing that's really popular in Africa that makes their hair stronger and silkier, and that there's no shampoo like that in the market. That could be an example of creating your own product. I did this with my company. My company's Performance Nut Butter. There was other nut butter products out there. There was almond butter, there was peanut butter, but there was no really good premium nut butter specifically that was targeted at the keto market. My girlfriend's company, which I'll talk about later as well, is wine flashcards. It's a way for you to learn about wine. There's a lot of wine books out there, but there was no wine flashcards. So the more you can make your product unique, the more you can make your product better than the competition, the more success you're going to have. And another advantage to this is you can sell it both on Amazon and on Shopify. So you can sell it on the giant marketplace that is Amazon, and you could also sell it on your own website. And there's a lot of advantages to that. I'll link a video up here talking about the advantages of Amazon versus Shopify. There's also no to low cash needed to start. A lot of people think, wow, if I'm going to create my own product from scratch, I need a lot of money to do that, right? Wrong. I'm going to talk about how you can raise all the money you need using Kickstarter later in this video. That's the real benefit of creating your own product, is you can raise money using crowdfunding. And there's no competition. Inherently, if you're creating your own product, what you're doing is you're creating your own category that no one else can compete with. Now, over time, will competitors come in? Possibly, but you're going to have such a huge head start on them that you're going to be able to just beat them. And that's the real honest truth. You own the market. When you're selling your own unique product, this is what I did with my product, you own the market. You are the number one product in there by definition. The problem with this, and I'm going to be honest with you, is it takes some creativity. Some of the other methods are a little bit more cookie cutter. This takes some creativity, but I have some step-by-step resources, some formulas for you on how you can actually create your own product. We'll be talking about later in this video, so don't worry about that. So those are the different business models right there. Private labeling is dead. I'm going to be the first one to say this here. Old school private labeling is dead. Now, as long as you do private labeling and you start to make your product better, you start to make a really strong brand, that still does work. But then at that point, it's not private labeling anymore. So the old school way of going to Alibaba, just taking a product off the shelf and just slapping your brand on it, sending it into Amazon, that just doesn't work anymore. Private labeling is dead because it's oversaturated. There is just so many people. There's millions and millions of people selling the same junk products, and you don't want to be competing against everybody else. It's also oversaturated. It's also dead because of China. China is now private labeling a lot of products and selling it directly on Amazon, and you just can't compete. They are the manufacturer. They're going to get it cheaper than you can possibly do it. So their margins are better. And so if you're trying to sell a junk product, China can sell junk products better than anybody else can. And on top of that, even if you do find a private label product that does well, Amazon Basics, which is Amazon's own home brand, they make their own version of batteries. They make their own version of backpacks. I had a friend that was selling a backpack, was doing very well. Amazon straight up copied their backpack and did an Amazon Basics backpack and basically wiped out their business overnight. So private labeling versus creating your own product. I'll put a video link down below in the description if you're not sure if you want to go with private labeling or creating your own product. Now, here's the truth. you can always start by private labeling just to dip your toes in the water. But if you really want to have success on Amazon right now, you're going to have to create your own product. Again, it doesn't have to be revolutionary, but you're going to have to make a product that's better than the competition, that has a stronger brand, things like that. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Create a unique product, brand the product. Obviously, I think I have a pretty strong brand for this, and I improved upon a product. That's the key formula for success on Amazon. And when you're creating your own product, it's a spectrum, right? It could be something unique. It could be branded. It could be something that you're passionate about. And I personally believe that you should sell something that you actually are passionate about, something that you wish existed in the world. Again, I think if you want to have a lot of success on Amazon or in business in general, find something that you really wish existed, scratch your own itch. So let me talk about what a passion product is and why it's so powerful. So Nike, for instance, Phil Knight, the guy that started Nike, he was a track and field star. He was obsessed with shoes, so he was able to make a better shoe. Tim Ferriss made his company Brain Quicken. He was obsessed on making your brain more powerful and neurotropic, so he came up with that. Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, they were obsessed with computers. They were able to develop a product that was obviously now it's doing extremely well, or a business that's doing extremely well with Apple. And I want to help people do this. I want to help people start passion products, start things that they're really excited about. Because here's the truth. If you're excited about your business, you're going to make more money than if you're just doing it for the money. So let's talk about how to find a product. And again, if you haven't commented down below what your goals are, comment down below your goals, because I'm going to be giving a ton of value in this video and I want to make sure that you're committed. So our goals right now that you have the basic overview of how to sell on Amazon, our goal is to find a profitable product that has high sales volume, low to no competition, something that you could add some custom branding to. And eventually we're going to get it shipped to Amazon. We're going to optimize the listing and we're going to launch the product and try to get it to the page number 1 of Amazon. Because remember, when you search on Amazon, if you can go up to page 1 on the Amazon search results or even the number 1 spot, people are going to buy your product. That's the key thing to remember here, is that Amazon is a search engine and you want to rank your product to the top of that search engine. So criteria for finding a product, and there's a lot more criteria than just this. And if you click the link down below, you put in your email and you get part of the free course, I'm going to give you a checklist on everything you should be looking for selling and finding a product on Amazon. But a quick overview is we want something with high sales. We want to find a product that's going to have high sales. That's going to make a lot of money. We want to find something that doesn't have a lot of competition on Amazon. Ideally, it should be something lightweight. Remember that you have to ship this product, that Amazon's going to ship this product. And if it's really heavy and hard to ship, then it might break. Then it's going to cost you more money. We also want something that has the ability to be branded. I'll explain more about this later. Ideally, when we're looking for a product, we want to find something that has room for improvement. If the best example of something already exists, I don't want to make that product. I don't want to even compete. We want to find something that's unique. Now, also, if you can find something that's consumable, meaning that people are going to have to reorder it over and over again, that's extremely powerful. Ideally, too, another thing to consider is this something that's viral? Now, fidget spinners is a classic example. I'm not talking about necessarily fidget spinners. What I'm talking about is it something that people will watch someone else use and they're going to want to buy it too? Is it something that people are going to talk about with their friends? Another thing to look at is this a category that's trending upwards? For instance, my product, Performance Nut Butter, it was a keto product. And the time I started it, about a little over 3 years ago now, keto was just starting to take off. So I was able to ride the wave of keto. Also, and this is probably one of the most important things that so many people forget, is it a premium product? Is this the kind of product that people are willing to spend extra money on? You want to find something like my example again, the nut butter product. You're not just looking for another peanut butter, another almond butter. You want to be the best. Try to find a product where you can be the best, because then you can charge way, way more money. So as I said, product research, we want to find products with high sales, low reviews. And so that's a really key thing here is when you're doing some research, find products that maybe have a lot of sales, but on Amazon, the competition is pretty low. Like the other competing products in your niche have low amount of reviews. And maybe they just have bad listings. If you can find an area, and that was when I started my product, the other nut butters out there, their listings sucked. It was completely plain and basic. Now, how do you find products to sell on Amazon? I'm going to give you a free way to do it. Jungle Scout is a great way to do it. There's the free Jungle Scout sales estimator. Basically, what you can do is you can find products that are being sold on Amazon. You can put the bestseller rank in here, fill out this information, and it'll tell you exactly how much it's being sold. And I'll put a link down below. I have a video that explains this more as well. Here it is. Take the BSR, paste it in. And there's another trick that I'll tell you about is you can add products to your cart and put the number 999 as the quantity, and it'll tell you, oh, this seller only has 141 of these available. Then you can go the next day and do it again, and it'll say, oh, they've only got 131 available. Then the next day, only 121 available. And if you do that day after day, you'll be able to see, oh, how much are they actually selling of this product? But what we want to do here is just use that as a starting place. Really what we're trying to do is create our own product so we can look at what does well on Amazon, what's being sold and making a lot of money. So let's say we find a product that we're like, wow, this product's doing really well. It has low competition, but high sales. Try to figure out how you can make it better. Now, one way to do that is by adding a brand. Put a really strong brand. And I'm going to talk about later in this video on how you could create a strong brand. You can also add features and functionality. Do something to it that makes it better than the competition. Now, as far as how to find a passion product, because really I feel like this is the highest form of entrepreneurship, is finding something that you really believe in, something that you're passionate about. You want to scratch your own itch. Look around your daily life and see what are the things that you wish existed that just don't exist. Now, one thing you can do is you can look at your Amazon order history. Look at all the different things you've purchased on Amazon and see what are the kind of things that you're buying, and then look at those and say, hey, how could this item be better? How could I make this item 10 times better? You can also look at your Amazon search history or your Google search history. Look at all the things you search in Google. Look at all the things you search for in Amazon. And one really key thing, I don't think I added to this list, this is actually one of my biggest tips, is anytime you search for something on Amazon and nothing shows up, no product shows up, that should be a light bulb moment. And that's a time when you know that you need to create that product. Because if you're searching for it on Amazon and you're not able to find it, that means that there's probably other people searching for it on Amazon, and that they would, if you would buy it on Amazon, they would also probably buy it on Amazon. So that should be a light bulb moment. I recommend write down one idea a day. Honestly, take action on this. Starting today, start writing down one idea a day of something you could sell on Amazon. Now, the key to this is it doesn't matter if it's a good idea or a bad idea. Just get in the habit of every day before you go to bed, writing down an idea. Some days you'll write down 3 or 4 or 5 or 100, but every day write down 1. Now, if you follow everything I'm telling you right now, within 30 days, I guarantee you're going to have a winning idea to sell on Amazon. So look at everything in your daily life, all the items you interact with. How could these items be improved? Also, look at all the activities you do. For instance, I do jujitsu. I go surfing. And if I look at like, man, what would make surfing better? What would make jujitsu better? I can start thinking, you know what? It'd be better if my gi was, a gi is like the suit that you wear in jiu-jitsu. It'd be better if it didn't smell. Maybe I could make a smell like a jiu-jitsu gi that just, no matter how sweaty you get, no matter how long you leave it out for, it just doesn't smell. They probably have something like that already. Same thing with surfing. I'm like, oh, you know what? I think it'd be really good if there was a different type of wax, or these are just starting points. Now look around your daily life and think about the items and how they can be improved in your activities and how they can be improved. You can also look at credit card statements. Where do you spend money? Start paying attention to this is all how you find what you're passionate about. Figure out where you're spending money, and wherever you're spending the most money, maybe that's the niche, that's the category you should really focus on. So I might do a list of ideas later in this video as well. So one thing, if you are going to be doing product research, so I'll link a video down below on how to use Helium 10. Helium 10 makes it easier to do product research, and I do have a huge discount, 50% off. There's a link down below. Use my link or enter my coupon code. And the advantage of Helium 10 is, I'll be honest with you, it makes it easier, but you don't necessarily need it. Now, I do go into way more depth on how to properly do product research in the Passion Product Formula, which is my full, complete Amazon FBA course. I've got the free Amazon FBA course you can get just by putting your email down below, but I do have a complete Amazon FBA course, and I'm going to talk about how it works later. But the cool thing about it is I have not only a 30-day money-back guarantee for unconditional money-back guarantee, but I have a 365-day money-back guarantee where as long as your course complete it and actually launch a product, you can pay as much as you want. I'll give you all your money back. You basically go through the course, complete it, and then at the end of the course, if you say, it's not worth every single penny, I will give you as much of your money back as you want. If you say, you know what, I went through this course, Travis, and it was only worth $100, I'll give you, as much of your money back as you want, basically. And I'm trying to make my pay what you want course a complete no-brainer. And I got my free course, which is a ton of value. It's got so much stuff. But if you do want to upgrade to the next level and you do want some one-on-one time with me, if you do want much more in-depth stuff, then later in this video, I'll talk about how you can join the Passion Product Formula, which is my actual pay what you want course. And also, as I mentioned, once this video gets 1,000 likes, I'm going to be doing like an hour-long product research tutorial. So if you haven't yet, smash that like button. Let's move on to the next thing. And let's talk about branding, because this is one of those things that a lot of people make the mistake. They launch a product on Amazon, but they don't properly brand their product. And let's talk about why you should brand your product. And we all see like Nike, we see Adidas, we see all these Apple. I mean, Apple's more than just a brand because they have completely different products. Hugo Boss, like Lacoste t-shirts. People pay a lot more money for a brand. And when you have a brand, you can charge more, which means more profit. That means more money in your bank account. You're also going to get brand loyalty. You see Chevy versus Ford. Now, how different is Chevy versus Ford? They're different, I'm sure, but sometimes people will buy a Chevy truck just because their dad bought a Chevy truck, and they'll keep buying, and that's what we're talking about here. Humans, we love brands. We love to be loyal to something because we believe in it. We know that, hey, it's reliable. It's a good product. So you want to create that with your product. And I'm going to give you an overview and show you how to figure out how to name your product and how to properly brand your product. As I mentioned earlier in this video, private labeling is dead. So if private labeling is dead, what's the answer? It's to really create a strong brand. You need a quality brand right now. So we're going to talk about how to brand. Now, one of the first things I recommend doing, if you want to create a strong brand, create an avatar. An avatar is basically, think about who is your ideal customer. What's their age? What's their name? What's their gender? What do they do for fun? Think about everything and describe them. Now, for my product, Performance Nut Butter, my avatar was me. I made a product for myself. For my course in this YouTube channel, my avatar is me 3-4 years ago because I'm trying to reach back in time. I struggled a lot to make money online. And now it's so easy for me to make money online. And I wish I could reach back in time and help myself. So when I make a YouTube video, I try to think of myself in my mind. You want to try to do the same thing for your product. Think about who is that one person that would love your brand, and think about what other brands they like, and think about how to advertise and market to them. You're also going to want to come up with a good name. And this is something, I'll do a future video about this on how to come up with a good name if that's something you're interested in. I obviously go into way more depth about this in my course. But the packaging, think about the packaging too. How are you going to make your packaging stand out? And this comes with design and thinking about the logos and the colors and everything that you're going to need. What are the colors? Now, for Performance Nut Butter, if I made it pink, you would know right away that, hey, that's not a masculine brand. Obviously, there's sometimes exceptions. If I made it red, it means something. All these different, purple symbolizes something different. Think about what colors you want your brand to be associated with, what words and terms and feelings you want your branding to be associated with, and use the colors that match. So here's a 7-step series on how to properly brand your product. The first thing is come up with a story. And really strong brands have these 7 things in common I'm going to share with you here. But the first thing you need is the story. How did your company get started? We got, you can read some of these if you're interested. A creed. Creed is things like just do it. People hear just do it and they know Nike right away. What is the phrase that is symbolic of your brand? For this YouTube channel, I'm trying to do passion into profit or passion into freedom. I still haven't really implemented that into my videos, but that's an example. If people hear passion into freedom, I want them to understand that it's a Travis Marziani video. Icon. Icons you need some kind of a logo or some kind of an icon. People go to war and die for icons. People spend way more money than they should because of icons. People have brand loyalty because of icons. Icons are powerful. Think about what's your logo going to be? What's the brand going to be? Rituals. What are the things? How do people interact with your product? For instance, Starbucks. You go in, you wait in line, and there's a certain ritual to it. So really strong brands have some kind of a ritual. Nike, you wear it before you go to the gym. Also, same thing, language. What are the keywords that your brand has? Like, what are the things that people that love your brand say that other people don't say? For instance, double tall, sugar-free, vanilla soy, extra hot latte. If someone says that, I know that they're a brand loyalist to Starbucks. For my brand, for example, passion product. If someone says passion product, I know that they probably watch my YouTube channel. Or for performance nut butter, if people are talking about keto and there's, zero carbs, like different phrases that people will say in the keto space. Here's another thing that a lot of people miss out on. If you want to create a strong brand, you need anti-believers. You need people that hate your brand. Now, people that love Apple hate Windows, and people that love Windows hate Apple. I talked about Ford versus Chevy earlier. You want people to actively hate you because then you're creating polarization. Now, this is very counterintuitive, but strong tribes have people that love the tribe and people that hate the tribe. This is why certain presidents win. If you look at Donald Trump, so people either loved him or hated him, but because so many people loved him, he was able to go out. He was able to motivate people to go out and get votes. Obviously, he didn't win the second time, but that's a story for another time. There's a lot of reasons behind that. But the fact that he won the first election, whether I'm not a political person, but you have to say it was pretty crazy. And the reason he was able to do it was he was a polarizing figure. You want your brand to be polarizing. The last element of creating a strong brand is the leader. Now, I'm the leader of this YouTube channel. I'm the leader of Performance Nut Butter. You are going to be the leader of your brand, or you could always hire someone to do it. It doesn't necessarily have to be you, but if you want a really strong brand, having a leader is a good way to do it. As I mentioned, make sure to subscribe because I'll be coming out with future videos with much more details on how to properly brand your products. But next up is let me teach you how to create raving fans. You want people that love your product, that are going to tell their friends about your product. This is going to lead into a ton of sales and basically free marketing for you. So why create raving fans? Well, first off, they're going to spread the word for you. You're not going to have to spend a lot of money on marketing because they're going to be out there trying to help you spread the word. They're also going to be the ones that are most likely to leave reviews. Amazon is all about getting as many 5-star reviews as you can. If you have people that are raving fans, they're going to leave 5-star reviews for your product. And so how do you create raving fans? I'm going to talk about some of the secrets here. One of the things that I think is one of the best strategies that not enough people are talking about is create a product launch group. So what's a product launch group? Well, basically it's a Facebook group, and you can do this, it doesn't have to be on Facebook. You could do this in other different ways, but I think that a Facebook group is one of the most powerful ways to do it. Basically, where you go in there and you post things and ask questions. You say, hey guys, which of these logos do you like best? And they pick a logo that they like best. You show people what your packaging design looks like, and they can show you ways to potentially improve your packaging design. So how do you get raving fans as well? Instagram, social media, TikTok. A lot of the people in my course right now, they're using TikTok or even YouTube. You can use YouTube to get raving fans. And so the idea is you use Instagram, YouTube, TikTok to spread the word about your product, to create social media, to create some buzz, get them on an email list, and get them into your product launch group. You can also, as I mentioned, create a blog, YouTube, podcast, Pinterest, Facebook. There's lots of different platforms, but basically you want to get people's attention and let them know about your product and eventually get them into that product launch group. So here's my method. I use personally Instagram. Now you can replace Instagram with TikTok or YouTube, whatever you think's best, but I use Instagram. I started an Instagram account for Performance Nut Butter, and then in the bio, I had a link where I told people you could get a free sample. So people would click on the link in the bio, they would sign up using an email capture, they would give me their email, and in exchange, they'd be entered to win a free sample. Now, the next step was I would email them. I would personally email them and say, hey, thanks so much for signing up for the wait list for this product. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. What are you interested in? And I would try to connect with them via private email back and forth. Then finally, I would tell them to join the Facebook group, the product launch group, the private Facebook group. Now, before I go any further, I do have exact scripts and exactly what I wrote in the emails, all that kind of stuff in my Pay What You Want course. So again, if you're interested in that, I'll put a link down below to that. But you can follow this basic formula and figure out exactly what to say. This works. This works really well. A lot of my students have followed this exact method. So let's talk about how to test your idea and how to raise money. And why Kickstarter? Why should you do a Kickstarter? Well, you can test your idea. So before you spend any money on the production run, before you really spend a lot of time and energy on your business, test it by launching a Kickstarter. You can also raise money. I raised $15,000, which was enough to pay for most of my production run. My girlfriend launched her product. She raised $5,000. I've had students raise, one student actually beat me. He raised over $15,000 for his product. I've had students raise $5,000 and $6,000 over and over again. And so it's easy to raise a lot of money on Kickstarter. It also creates buzz. When you launch a Kickstarter for your product, it lets PR, it lets blogs know, it lets a lot of people know that you've got a really cool product. Imagine, if you're looking for a good news story and you're someone that writes for a newspaper and you see, oh my God, this guy raised $10,000 for this unique product, that's really cool. It also just creates a really good story because people like the started from the bottom, now we're here kind of stories. So if you can talk about look, I raised $15,000 on Kickstarter. I was really working hard on this product and I made it happen. It creates for a better story because people started from the bottom type stories. So the steps to doing a Kickstarter are you want to set up your Kickstarter. You're going to basically make a video. I think I talk about that here. Yeah. A video. You have to set up all the different tiers. It's pretty easy to do. I'll do a future video. Make sure, again, you subscribe. I'll do a future video talking in depth about how to do a Kickstarter. Obviously, I go into more depth again in the course. But then one of the things you want to do is a pre-launch sequence. And what this means is a month before you launch the product on Kickstarter, let people know. Get people excited. Say, hey, the date is going to be May 13th. It's happening on that day. Get excited. And then as it keeps going, you say, hey, it's 2 weeks away. It's 1 week away. It's 5 days away. It's 3 days away. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day. And so you're hyping it up the same way that they hype up a movie. Before a movie's released, months ahead of time what the date is. And then they start having the actors go on to late night talk shows, on a podcast. They start getting you excited, and you're going to do the same thing with your product. You also need to do a video for your Kickstarter, and I'll do a video in the future about a complete script on how to do that. And there's it's not hard to make a Kickstarter video. I thought it was really hard to do a Kickstarter video. It's actually really easy to do. And ideally, if you can get some PR, if you can get on blogs, if you can get in newspapers, things like that for your Kickstarter, that could be super helpful. So now let's talk about how to find a manufacturer. And finding a supplier, finding a manufacturer, you can go to sites like Alibaba.com. And if you're going to go to Alibaba.com, I recommend going with gold suppliers. Only communicate through Alibaba. You don't want to communicate with them on your email if you're doing Alibaba. You want everything to be in the system because if they make a promise to you and they don't follow through on that promise, you want it to be in Alibaba's system. Always, if you're signing any kind of contracts or you're working with any manufacturers, check the small print. Make sure to choose the correct payment method as well. I like using credit cards whenever possible, but sometimes they'll only take PayPal or a wire transfer, or they're only going to do Alipay. Also, make sure you build rapport with your manufacturer. This is a really important thing. I recommend don't just treat them like a business relationship. Treat them like a real relationship. Get to know them. And I'll put you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add in the free course, obviously in the paid course, I have a ton of information about this, but in the free course, I'm going to add a checklist for working with your manufacturer and make sure you negotiate. So some other tips for finding a manufacturer, finding your supplier. Google. When I was finding my manufacturer for the nut butter company, I literally just typed in nut butter manufacturer, nut butter co-packer, and I found a bunch of different people. You can also go to trade shows. Now, right now, there's not a lot of trade shows going on, but you can look at previous years and you can look at who's exhibited in the last few years at different trade shows, and you can decide basically if to contact them or not. For instance, Natural Foods Expo is the biggest pre-packaged foods, consumer packaged goods expo that there is. I went to that and I walked around and I found people that could manufacture my product. You could also use Jungle Scout. I'll put a link down below. I do have a discount for Jungle Scout as well, but Jungle Scout has specifically a resource that'll help you find a manufacturer. I forget the name. Well, I forget what they call it, but if you click the link down below for Jungle Scout, you can sign up and you can do that. But start calling and start emailing people right away. I recommend if it's in the United States, call them. If your manufacturer is in the United States, call them, get them on the phone, create a good connection. Otherwise, send an email or send a message via Alibaba. So let's talk about now how to create your listing. And this is where things start to get really exciting. So at this point, you already have a product. You've already got a brand and raving fans. You've already maybe tested your idea. Now, one thing I didn't mention earlier, but I'm going to mention now is Kickstarter is completely optional. You don't necessarily have to do a Kickstarter. I think it's very powerful, but you don't need to do it. Also, we've already found a manufacturer, maybe even manufactured the product. And now I'm going to tell you how to create your listing. The first step is to do keyword research. You need to figure out what are people going to be searching for in Amazon, where they're going to search for that and they're going to want to buy your product. For instance, for my product, Performance Nut Butter, it's keto nut butter. My girlfriend's product, wine flashcards or wine education, probably wine flashcards is probably the most common one. Wine party supplies would be another one for her. There's a lot of different things. So you want to do keyword research and figure out what are people going to search for in Amazon, where they're going to want to buy your product. You're also going to want to do photography for your product. Now, look at the difference between this one and this one. This is a much better main image than this. First off, on Amazon, you do need to have a white background, and you're going to want to make sure that you crop the image so it's as close to your package as possible, because it's going to make it appear bigger. And also, this one right here is computer generated image. It's not a real photo, but it looks pretty good. You're also going to want to work on the titles. Now, I'll include a link to a video down below on much more in depth on all these things. But for the title, you're going to want to make sure you include the keyword. So you see here, keto nut butter, ketogenic, paleo, vegan friendly, low carb, healthy, fat bomb. Like all those are things people are searching for. You're also going to want to include bullet points. Now, for your bullet points, and if you ever looked on Amazon, you've seen the bullet points before. For the bullet points, you're also going to want to include some of the keywords. So you see, let's see here. I talk about no sweeteners. That's a keyword. Performance optimized. But not only are you going to want to include the keywords, you're going to want to include the benefits of what makes your product so amazing. So I put 100% real, 100% natural, delicious and satisfying, fuels your power. So fuels your power is a good example of a benefit. What's the benefit of the product? It fuels your power. Now, most people end up putting the features of the product. So the features of the product would be something like 19 grams of fat. That doesn't help people know why your product's amazing. But if I say it fuels your power, not your cravings, it lets people know that, hey, this is an amazing product. You're also going to want to add a description. Now, one thing you can do is you can do A+ content. And to do A+ content, you need to be brand registered. To be brand registered, you need to get a trademark. I'll include a link down below for that. And you're also going to want to get as many reviews as possible. That's a big thing. I'll talk about my method for getting reviews in just a minute here as well. But you want to get as many 5-star reviews on your product as possible, which leads us to the next stage, which is launching a product. And the whole point of launching a product is to get as many sales and as many reviews as possible. And the way to do that is you want to build up hype. I already kind of mentioned this for launching for Kickstarter, but you want to use the same process for launching on Amazon. Let people know a month ahead of time, maybe even months ahead of time, that you're going to be launching this product on Amazon. But give them a date at least a month ahead of time so people can mark their calendars and get excited. And in the days, in the weeks leading up to the launch, post on social media, post on Instagram, YouTube, anywhere that you have social media. Send out emails, send out private emails, send out personal DMs on Instagram and personal messages on Facebook. Let everybody know when your product's going to be launching. Also, make sure and post in your launch group and build up the hype, build up the anticipation. You can also do PPC. Now I'll do a link down below to an advanced PPC tutorial, and I'm going to be coming out with an even more advanced PPC tutorial in the next few months here. But basically the idea of launching your product is you want to get people really excited so that they will launch it on the first day that your product comes out. I also recommend doing a discount. I recommend, my product was $27.99. I recommend starting at $19.99, maybe if that's the case, or 33% discount, something like that. Figure out how much of a discount you want to give, but for the first week only, give a discount. So now I'm going to get into some questions, and here's all the questions. These are some of the most frequently asked questions. Here's all the most common questions that people ask me all the time. And as I mentioned, I'll include a link down below to FAQs, which are the most frequently asked questions. I did complete videos on some of these questions, but how much time do you need? And if you have any questions, I'm going to take a break here for a second. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below. I'm going to answer every single question that's left in the comments down below. So how much time do you need to start your Amazon business? Well, it depends. If you do 1 day a week, 2 to 4 hours a week, then I would say if you're spending 2 to 4 hours a week, I would say really you only need to work on this business 1 day a week and maybe 2 to 4 hours a week. Now, it's going to, the more time you spend on it, the quicker you're going to be able to launch, obviously. But I have a lot of students, they only work on it literally 2 to 4 hours a week, and it takes them maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe up to 9 months at the most, and they're able to launch their product. So it doesn't take a lot of extra time to do this. I would say budget 8 hours a week to be safe, but I know a lot of people that are able to do it just working 1 day a week, only for a few hours. And really, here's the truth. It's a balance between money versus time, because for instance, if you have a lot of free time and you don't want to spend a lot of money, then you can spend more time and spend less money. But let's say you don't have a lot of free time, but you have a lot of money. You can hire virtual assistants to do a lot of the work for you. You can hire marketing companies and hire designers and do all this kind of stuff. So it's a complete balance. If you don't have a lot of money, spend some time and you'll be able to start your business without spending a lot of money, basically. So my question to you is, how are you going to spend your spare time? We all have spare time. We watch TV, maybe we hang out with family, which is great, but how are you going to spend your spare time? Is the way you're going to spend your spare time, is it going to lead to you starting a profitable business? And if you follow this method, if you sell a product on Amazon, you're going to be able to spend your spare time basically creating a business that's going to give you a lot more spare time in the future. How much money do you need? This is another question I get. And my answer is $0. If you do a Kickstarter, you don't need any money to start. Now, if you have $200 or $500, then it's going to make it a lot easier. I'd recommend, if you don't have at least an extra $500 laying around, it might be hard to start an Amazon FBA business. But I know a lot of people that don't have a lot of money, but they have a lot of time, and that they're able to start their Amazon business because they're able to work hard and do a Kickstarter. So it's up to you. How long will it take? I already kind of talked about this. I generally tell people it'll take 3 to 6 months. So if you start today, within 3 to 6 months from today, you're going to have a freaking Amazon FBA business that's going to be making you money. So that's why I'm so gung-ho on start today. How much can you make? Well, there's no limit. I get this question all the time. There's no limit on how much money you can make. I mean, I'll give you, my income report. I'll share that with you soon. But I know people that are making literally 9 figures off Amazon. So you can make a lot of money off of Amazon, more money than most people need. Now, most people aren't going to make 9 figures, but you can make enough money. Trust me. How do I know my product will sell? Test. So the reason I created my course, the Passion Product Formula, is it's a step-by-step way for you to test if your product's going to work. And you can use Jungle Scout, or I also have Helium 10. I'll put in the links down below. I have discount codes for both them. You can use Kickstarter. You can test your product on Kickstarter before you ever launch it as well. When you're doing social media, you want to see, are people following you? Are they liking your posts? Are they actually signing up for your email list? Because if no one's signing up for your email list on social media, then you probably don't have that good of an idea, and it might not be a successful product. So what if your product doesn't work? Well, here's the thing. A lot of people talk about how 4 out of 5 businesses fail. And that's true. 4 out of 5 businesses fail within the first 5 years, meaning, so let me break down what that means. I was told that over and over again. When I was quitting my job, everybody wanted to tell me 4 out of 5 businesses fail. But the truth is 4 out of 5 businesses fail within the first 5 years. But you can have a business and it could fail on year 4 and you could have made a lot of money. But my thing that I told people is, so what? So what if you create a business and it fails? The next time you create a business, it's more likely to succeed. When I was quitting my corporate job, I told people, you know what? 4 out of 5 businesses fail. Cool. I'm going to start 5. And by the 5th one, statistically, one of them will succeed. Obviously, I was kind of joking about that, but the idea is no matter what, this is a win-win situation. It's a no-lose situation. The worst case scenario is you start a business, maybe you learn a big lesson. That's the worst case scenario. Maybe you spend a few $1,000s. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Most people spend $100,000 on a 4-year education in college, and I guarantee you, if you put your money into an Amazon business, start any kind of a business for that matter, even if it doesn't succeed, you'll learn more losing a few $1,000s on an Amazon business than you ever would in 4 years in college. And I've done both, and I can tell you this right now that you learn so much. So it's a no-lose situation. And then the next time you go to start a business or the next time you go to make money, you'll be that much further ahead. So don't worry about the what ifs. This is why I'm telling people start now. Another question I get is, what do I do after launch? Well, once you get your product up and launch, you don't really have to do a lot of work, but you can do PPC. And PPC is pay per click. It's a type of advertising. I have other videos I talk in depth about that. You can also launch your product on Shopify. And Shopify is a very powerful platform. It's a way for you to have your own website. You want to sell on Amazon, but you also want to have a product you can sell on your own website, just in case something ever happens to Amazon, or if, God forbid, Amazon doesn't want you to be on their platform. There's a lot of reasons you want to have your own website as well. And this is my typical monthly income report here. And this is like an average over the last 3 years, more or less an average. I would do about $34,000 in revenue. And then after all my fees, I was doing around $11,000 profit on average. Maybe it was $10,000. This, I don't know if this is completely a typical one, but whatever. It was right around $10,000 profit per month. And that's a lot more money than most people make in their corporate job. And I was doing this literally, I was probably working 2 to 4 hours a week. No joke. Like I was enjoying my life. I live here in Santa Monica. I was going to the beach. I was traveling. I was living a good life. And that's why I'm doing this video. People ask me, why am I giving away all this free information? It's because I'm so lucky that I've been able to spend the last 3 years living my dream life. I want to show other people how to do it. And my hope is that you become successful and that you come back and you let me know. You say, hey, this video helped me. And maybe you give me a testimonial video, or maybe you just tell me thank you. Like that is why I'm doing this and why I'm sharing all this information. So let me give an example of my girlfriend's company. So Ariana, she started this company right here, Vino Cards. It's wine flashcards. It's a tool for learning about wine, basically. And in December, she did around $6,000 with $1,500 profit. This was enough money for her to be able to quit her job. Now we live together, so she doesn't have a ton of expenses, but that extra, my question to you is, what would you do with an extra $1,500? Like an extra $1,500, for a lot of people, it's not enough for them to quit their job. It was for Ariana. And she's amazing, but it's not like she's working on this like completely. She's not like me where I work on things 24 hours a day. She was working on this while having a full-time job on the side. So, for her to make $1,500 and be able to quit her job is a pretty big deal. If she can do that, I think that a lot of people out there, if they follow this method, they can do it. So Ariana's example, it started with an idea. We came up with this idea together. We wanted to learn more about wine, and we realized that flashcards were a very powerful way to do it. And we did some research, and we realized that there wasn't a product out there that existed like this. There was no wine flashcards. So then we started an Instagram. Specifically, she started the Instagram. She's much better at that kind of stuff than I am. And you see that we had like, hey, learn more. Click the link down below. Sign up to win a free sample. We started a product launch group. We started a Facebook group that still exists. Actually, you can go check it out. We did a Kickstarter. And as I mentioned, she raised over $5,000. We manufactured the product. We created an Amazon listing and then launched it. We use this exact method that I'm talking about here, and now she's able to make $1,500 a month profit. My goal for you is to help you make an extra $10,000 profit per month in 6 months. Like that's really the benchmark that I set. I was able to make an extra $10,000 or make $10,000 profit per month in 2 months after launching my product. But my goal for you, and I know you can do this, is to make an extra 10. Thanks.